First of all, big thanks to our viewers for suggesting this idea, a list of actors who didn't exactly see eye to eye with John Wayne. Now, we all know he was hugely popular, especially among his peers. But after digging a bit deeper, we did find actors who actually went on record saying they didn't care much for him, either as an actor on the screen or as a man away from it. Montgomery Clift's first big role was opposite John Wayne in Red River back in 1948, and let's just say it didn't exactly spark a friendship. Clift and Wayne couldn't have been more different, especially in how they presented masculinity. Clift absolutely hated Wayne's old-school, rigid idea of what it meant to be a man, and he wasn't too fond of Wayne as a person either. And the feeling was mutual. John Wayne thought Clift was, in his words, an arrogant little bastard, and tried to keep his distance from him on set. The two did not get along at all, and kept to themselves except for a couple of poker games, which Clift later said repelled him because of what he felt was forced machismo on the part of Wayne. The whole experience was pretty terrible for Clift. He thought his performance in Red River was mediocre, and he didn't have much love for the movie itself. Clift hated the watered-down ending, rewritten so that John Wayne's character wouldn't die. And he hated that the conflict, which had built to a fever pitch by the end of the film, was resolved in a moment of anticlimax, with Tess breaking up the fight between Dunson and Matt. "It makes the showdown between me and John Wayne a farce," Monty said. Speaking of forced machismo, there's another actor who wasn't exactly on board with John Wayne's tough guy image, Tab Hunter. He once famously said about the Duke, "John Wayne treated me fine, but that macho stuff turns me off. It's not real." Now, it's not like Tab hated John Wayne or anything. He just wasn't all that impressed with the whole tough guy act the Duke was known for. They only worked together on one movie, the 1955 World War II drama, The Sea Chase. Not that there were many movies in which Tab had actually starred. Rumors about his sexuality had circulated throughout his time in Hollywood, which he believes sabotaged his career. The king of Hollywood, Clark Gable, was another star who Wayne had frequently disrespected, going as far as to brandish the Gone with the Wing actor as too stupid to do anything but act. Eventually, the pair came to loggerheads concerning the 1953 John Ford movie Mogambo, which seemed like a wholly bad idea considering Wayne's affiliation with Ford. The resulting film was a decent effort, but Ford and Gable repeatedly clashed. Naturally, Wayne was a long-standing ally of Ford, so he did everything he could to stand by his frequent director. By the time Mogambo was completed, Wayne had a damning assessment of Gable, and Gable himself had grown completely embittered of the Duke and his very public remarks. On the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Lou Grant might have claimed to be a big fan of John Wayne, but the reality was quite the opposite for Ed Asner. It was no secret that these two didn't see eye to eye. In fact, during the filming of El Dorado, they were known to exchange some pretty unflattering remarks about each other, all because of their very different political views. Now, this one might surprise a lot of people. There's a common belief that Hepburn couldn't stand John Wayne, and it all stems from a famous quote where she called him a real bastard. But here's the thing, most people don't realize that this quote was totally taken out of context. There's a rumor floating around that during the wrap party for Rooster Cogburn, Hepburn supposedly gave Wayne a piece of her mind, not holding back at all. But in reality, she actually enjoyed working with him. Both Hepburn and Wayne were known for their fiery personalities, and she was more amused than anything by his habit of arguing with everyone on set, especially the director. At the wrap party, Hepburn jokingly told Wayne, who had been living with one lung after suffering a bout of pneumonia, that she's glad she didn't know him when he had two lungs. It was all in good humor, though. Hepburn didn't hate Wayne. In fact, she respected him and appreciated working with someone who had as much fire as she did, although they did end up making just one movie together and no more.